We ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. We can't be stopped now. Passport Bros for life. Hello, YouTube. This is your boy, the Passport Bro Wingman, coming at you again with another YouTube video. And the title of this video is called Passport Bros Are Here to Stay. We ain't going nowhere. F the OPPS. And the way this video came about was I was watching another YouTuber's channel. And actually, I watched a few YouTubers' channel, and I was kind of disappointed at some of the reactions to this whole Austin Holloman thing. You got a lot of people now trying to distance themselves from the label of being a passport bro. Like, there's so many people. I saw videos coming out today saying they no longer want to be associated with it. They need to change the name. Just a whole bunch of negativity because everyone's getting kind of, I guess, nervous about the whole situation there. So they're trying to distance themselves. So I kind of wanted to give my 2 cents about this whole situation. I don't want to necessarily mention the names of some of the people because I don't want it to turn into put it this way. We already have the feminists and some of these ops coming up against us, these TikTok video women and, a whole bunch of the people trying to come against us. So I don't want to help them by doing a divide and conquer thing. So I'm not going to mention names, but some of y'all know some of the people probably. I'm sure y'all seen the videos as well. There's several people in their title that literally have said, I'm leaving Passport Bros. I no longer want to be associated with Passport Bros. And you know what's so weird about this whole situation? Similar thing is happening in the manosphere. There was this thing with Just Pearly Things in which, she said a whole bunch of racist stuff. And now people are blaming the people that brought her on and saying, you guys, need to be accountable for this. And there's people now saying they're leaving the manosphere, the black manosphere because of this. And it just seems like a domino effect. So you have that going on, people leaving that. Now you got the Passport Bros, which, a lot of times we try to say the whole Passport Bro movement is like another wing of the red pill kind of. So now you got infection going from the red pill all the way over into the Passport Bro movement. You got a lot of people trying to steer away from it. They're talking about the algorithm isn't really pushing it anymore, that kind of thing. And so I just kind of, really wanted to speak on this. I just wanted to encourage people a little bit and talk about some things that are taking place and then talk about solutions and things we can kind of do to get through this. Because just to be honest with you, overall, I just think this whole thing is going to blow over. And I think what's going to happen is a lot of people are going to regret saying they no longer want to be associated with Passport Bros. And here's the thing that's going to be so strange about this. I promise you, probably about three months or so down the line, these same people saying they don't want to be associated with Passport Bros, they're going to be right back into the movement. Name going to be posted back up. They're going to say, quote unquote, why they are rejoining, or they might even say I never left. I was just saying that at that time period I needed to stay low, or something like some way they're going to deny it or something like that. So let me start off by saying this. Okay, so here's the thing. So let's first start off with the whole Austin Holloman thing. Let me just start from there. So once the situation happened, you had a lot of people trying to denounce him, steering away from him. And my whole thing was this. You have been rocking with him for so long, and now that he got in a little bit of trouble, you want nothing to do with him. You want to act like you don't even know him. To be honest with you, I just feel like a lot of people during that time were a little bit jealous of him to begin with because he had so many followers and he blew up, and they feel like, why is he necessarily the quote unquote face, even though he never said he was the face. It's just that people made him a face. He was just one of the predominant Passport Bro people that was out there, even though now he's trying to say, I never said I was a Passport Bro. But the thing that's so weird about the Passport Bro term, that's just like saying somebody's a sports fan. There's no head of the sports fans. There's no organization of the sports fans, though you can turn it into an organization. But if somebody was to ask me, am I a sports fan? Yeah, I like basketball, I like UFC, but I don't pay dues. There's nobody I answer to. There's no leader of sports fans throughout the world. It's just, I'm a sports fan. Not to say that they can't have little clubs here and there, But somebody just labeling you as a sports fan, that's not illegal. I mean, so just say like there is some little organization here or there where there are people that call themselves the sports fans, and that say that they, I don't know, they get involved in some type of illegal gambling activity. That has nothing to do with me. First off, from a legal standpoint, they have to tie me to that. If I've never talked to these people, I don't know anything about these people, that has nothing absolutely to do with me. And I just say that to say, same thing with the term tomboy. Imagine a bunch of girls who like getting involved in athletics and they call themselves the tomboys or something like that. And as we know, a tomboy is just a woman who in general likes dealing in male sports activities. She's like kind of, like a tomboy for the most part. There's no organization for tomboys. These are just women here and there who like doing athletics. They like doing athletic things. There's nothing illegal about it. If one of those women were online and they saw another woman doing something athletic and she says, I consider myself a tomboy, and she reaches out there and say, I have some camaraderie with you because I'm also a tomboy. They connect. They're on Discord talking about different sporting events. That's not illegal. There's nothing illegal about that. So let's just say there's a tomboy in another state across the country or something like that. And let's say that tomboy, she does something like, let's say the group of girls that she's with, they start sneaking into like NBA games or something like that. And then somebody says, well, we got all these tomboys sneaking into NBA games, which is illegal. And then they look at the woman across the other country talking about she's a tomboy. They have nothing absolutely to do together. There's no ties. There are no fees. There's not an organization. I know they want to do that. They want to tie it together, but it's not an organization. Now, here's my thing. Here's my thing about this. And this is where I'm going to stand on this. Me personally, I'm going to stand on my square. I consider myself a passport bro. A lot of people do not, because here's the thing. That woman, the feminist, we're not gonna keep giving her any additional fame, any clout, because really, in my personal opinion, if let's just say Austin never had apologized, he just left. He didn't make a big deal about the whole situation. I don't even think it would have got this far where it is. I just think that a lot of people are just adding to it. And as someone has said before, you're making like a molehill into a mountain. It's really nothing there. And just to be honest with you, that just say that I keep calling myself a passport bro. Somehow they try to tie me into this thing. I want you to know a few things. When it turns out that they can't connect me to anything, I'm going to sue the heck out of everybody that had anything to do with connecting me to that. That lady, I promise you, there's going to be a bunch of lawsuits. So, because you can't just go around slandering people and making them associated with something they're not associated with. She's getting away with that right now because no one's really saying anything to her, and she's in Brazil. But I'm here in the States. That's not going to fly here. So she can do all she wants to do. I'm not worried about it. You understand what I'm saying? Two, they don't have this is one of the main reasons why I don't really show my face on camera for this exact reason, because there's just so much mess that comes along with putting your name out there. People trying to dox you, people trying to associate it with different things. Like, for example, Dennis Sperling had brought this up. I believe his name is the Peso Man. He has videos on there trying to call and I'm watching myself too when I say this, but I believe allegedly I saw on his page he had tried to tie Austin and some people in with like pedophilia and that kind of thing. He can be easily sued. He's doing that. Austin and them have not checked him on this, but I promise you, if I was to find out that he was doing that to me, put it this way, I'm well off. Like, I make well over 6 figures. I have the money to sue. I'm not like one of these other people who just out here, they ain't got no cash behind them. I have cash behind me. As I told you before, I've been to various different countries. I'm not trying to boast or brag, but I just want, he's listening, that's fine, but I just want people to know that at some point, if they were to tie me into that, and specifically the guy I was talking about, there's going to be lawsuits. Once I start hitting people in their pockets, once some of the passport bros out there, some of the men listen, once you start hitting these people in these pockets, when they get that cease and desist order, they're going to stop. I promise you that. So what we're probably going to have to do eventually, I know a lot of people are trying to get squirmish and they don't want to get involved and all that kind of stuff like that. But eventually what's going to have to start happening is People gonna have to start getting hit in them pockets. The lawyers gonna have to start coming out. The lawsuits gonna have to be starting to get filed. I promise you, once that lady starts seeing that, she'll stop. She will stop. She will stop. Now, the thing is, I don't ordinarily go to Brazil that often. As you know, my favorite spot generally is Colombia. And I go there very often. And yeah, that's been my spot for a while. I do plan at some point maybe to go back to, like Thailand and the Philippines, that kind of thing. But my whole thing has just been Colombia for the most part. I just had, overall, in comparison to Brazil, I've just had a better time there, more success there. The girl I'm with now, I met her in Colombia. So that's why I mostly have been there. But yeah, so that's that. The other thing is, again, that's the other reason I didn't really show my face a lot. More so because here's the thing. The dude, Jonathan Majors, supposedly his wife had tried to press charges on him and say that he tried to abuse her, but then later it came out she recanted her charge. But the thing is, the state supposedly is still trying to charge him. So here's the problem. Even though he's innocent, the damage is done. The problem is, even though he's innocent, the damage is done. That is one of the main reasons why I don't really ordinarily show my face. Originally, when I first started, I did show my face, but I stopped for that exact reason. Because the thing is, even though you're innocent, even though, like I said, me being a Passport Bro, you being a Passport Bro, there's nothing wrong with that. Even the stuff Austin was doing, there's nothing, in my personal opinion, there's nothing there. They don't have anything on him. I just think, they just say, even if it goes to the courts or anything like that, there's nothing really there. Now, what they may try to do is, as I said before, political theater, because they just want to make the feminists feel like they're actually doing something, I guess, about men who exploit women there. They may try to make him the face of that whole thing and then try to, ban him or fine him or something like that. But and the only reason that they may even try to get away with that is because he's a black dude. If he was white, I think this whole thing would have never even happened, just to be honest with you. If he was a white dude doing the same thing he did, she wouldn't have said anything. This MP who's looking into investigating claims and that kind of stuff, I don't even think they would have even looked into the situation. This is just really just because it's a black dude and they're not used to seeing black dudes with money come there. And in my opinion, it's kind of like a bit of jealousy, that kind of thing. But either way, as I said before, nothing, he didn't do anything wrong. The problem is that your reputation now is smeared with that. So, for example, if I'm working a regular job, I have this float in the background. It's just going to harm me in some way, even though I didn't do anything wrong. And even if the courts, in which I do believe the courts are going to prove that he's innocent, but let's just say, in my case, something like that, it does prove that nothing happened. It's still the fact that the impact is done. So that's the only reason I'd be worried about that. Now, to be honest with you, I'm almost at a point now where, because I do things like trading and I got like some little side hustles and stuff like that. I am get to a point where I'm kind of almost to the point where at some point I could work towards being my own boss. Now, once I do that, I would reconsider maybe showing my face, that kind of thing. I have no problem issues with that. But as of right now, with me still working regular jobs and that kind of stuff, just dealing with the impact and all, and like dealing with a whole bunch of foolishness. I just don't have time for that right now. So that's that. So yeah. So that's that. So that's why that's why I said in my previous video, in spite of all this stuff going on, I still would go down to Brazil. Like, I mean, I thought about going down in the future. I would go down there. Like I said, first of all, they don't know what I look like. They don't know who I am. I don't forecast things in advance. I'm not saying I'm going to this place, that place. I'll just go there under the radar, do what I got to do, meet a few girls here and there, and go about my business. And I don't even think it'll be that big of a deal. It's just the fact that a lot of times some of the guys are actually broadcasting their plans and showing the girls and all that kind of stuff. And that is what they're using to try to press a case against like the Passport Bro. They're trying to find, right now their reach is really a reach. It's really a reach. They really have nothing, but they're just like the women on the TikTok videos where they're literally saying anything to try to smear the Passport Bros. This woman is literally doing the same thing, but she's just doing it out in the open, trying to find anything she can the ties together to make it a negative thing and make it hard for any American guys or any travelers in general to go to Brazil, to the point to where when you go to Brazil, you can't even date a female or a woman or something like that. But as I said before, it's all going to fall flat eventually, because here's the thing. Even if policies get passed, let's say policies get passed and that kind of thing, even in the United States, you do understand that in many cases it is obviously illegal to discriminate against people based upon color, their religious background, that kind of thing. But you do know that in spite of it being illegal, it still happens. So I say that to say that even though policies get passed, you still need enforcement. You still need people to enforce this, which means they still need to hire. Brazil will have to hire additional staff to look into this kind of thing. And they already are struggling financially as it is. So you have to ask yourself, do they really have the additional funding to put together a staff that's going to monitor all the different travelers and see what type of activities they're engaged in? They're not, especially if you think about how large Brazil is. There are multiple cities besides Bahia, besides Rio, besides Sao Paulo. There's multiple regions. Also, as we have stated many times, Passport Bros, it does not just include men looking for love. That's just not the only thing. You have men who set up business deals. You have men that are involved in real estate. You have men there who travel to see different historical sites, to get involved in the culture. You have food critics who go to different spots, talk about the food. They criticize the different hotels. They're travel agents, that kind of thing. It encompasses like a whole lot. So it's not just women. So those men, like, you can't lump them in with men who are just going out there for illicit or I don't even want to put it this way, maybe things that you don't even think is moral, but the thing is, men who are going out there looking for poon, you do understand that is legal in the country. They're not doing anything illegal. Now, are there some men somewhere who, or not even passport bros, but are down there taking advantage of underage women and engaged in drugs and other illegal activities? I'm sure somewhere in the large country of Brazil, there's somebody doing something illegal or something like that. But I mean, for them to try to tie that person to the passport bros, it's just ridiculous. I mean, it's just ridiculous. First of all, as I said, as I keep telling you, it's not an organization. It's a way of thinking. It's a way of people thinking. We don't pay fees. There's no meetup groups. And then if you think about how many people have claimed to be passport bros, I have not met all these people. I don't even know about all these people. Some of these people don't even know about me. We have small cliques here and there, but to tie them all together, there's, as I said before, there's no chapters or stuff like that. This is just ridiculous. So, so I'm gonna say that. So I know the video is getting kind of long. So, but this is how I'm gonna end. I'm gonna tell you all how to kind of, I'm gonna tell you what. Okay, so here's the thing. The video I watched from one of the passport. Well, he now says, I never claimed to be a passport bro, even though a lot of times you see it in his title. But now because he got a little bit worried and scared about this whole situation, he's trying to distance himself. But one of the things he brought up was he felt that a lot of the quote-unquote passport bros, whether you consider yourself or not, if you're a male traveler, especially a black traveler, they're going to lump you in that anyway. But I just say you don't even consider yourself that. So either way, here's the thing. He's saying that the way that a lot of the brothers are messing up in general when they go to these countries are, doing things like putting hidden cameras in their rooms, taking video, recording videos of people at parties with the girls there, and the girls are saying, I don't want to be on camera. They're putting them on camera anyway, stuff like that. So it's kind of, like you said, the same playbook that a lot of women are doing in the United States, where the same with the thing with Michael Irvin, where he's literally just saying hi to the woman, tapping her on her elbow, and they're trying to say that that's sexual harassment. This is literally kind of the same playbook that is kind of happening down there. And let me see. And so here's the thing. What this may be is, keep in mind that quote unquote passport bros has been going on before I was even born. Back in, I think, 1940s, 1950s, Jet had like a little magazine talking about do Japanese women make better wives, that kind of thing. So this has been going on for a long time. The only difference is they didn't have YouTube and Instagram. So what you have now is men now posting videos of their travels and that kind of thing. And I guess some women, for whatever reason, they're seeing themselves in these videos online. Put it this way, they have regrets about being in photos and that kind of thing. Because here's the thing, I mentioned this in one of my other videos. There was a lady that was being interviewed, I believe in Colombia, and she was saying that she felt like a lot of tourists, when they go there, the only place they go to is like the clubs. All they want to do is clubs and and mess around with the women and that kind of thing. Why they're not going to historical sites and museums and all that kind of stuff? That's all they want to do. And you know where this is coming from? A lot of these women, some of them have been on dating apps, some of them have been on seeking arrangements, some of them have been on Tinder. What's been happening is they've been probably dating some of the quote unquote not just passport bros, some of the non-passport bros as well. A lot of travelers in general. These travelers, put it this way, they've dated them, but they didn't settle down with them. They probably dated them for a few months. Probably was dating another girl at the same time. They told them they weren't interested. The girl got her heart broken. So now that she got her heart broken, here she is online trying to trash travelers, saying we all are poon tourists. We only there for that reason. What you have is a bunch of hurt women, not just in the United States, but also overseas as well. Heard about some guy who broke their heart, that kind of thing. So they're lashing out at all men, trying to make it almost a crime to talk to a woman. And all they're going to do is put themselves in the same position that some of the American women are in, where men don't even, like Mike Pence said, whenever he deals with a woman, he has his wife with him at all times, so she can't say anything. All that's going to happen is, as I stated in my other video, is I'm still going to go and visit these countries, even Brazil. I'm still going to go there. But what I recommend most bros to do, just like myself, is move in a very sophisticated manner. As I said before, when I want to meet women, what I'm just going to start doing is, after a while, if it starts getting like that, no more cold approach, Latin American Cupid, Tinder, seeking arrangements, that kind of thing, and just by communication through that. That's eventually how we're gonna have to just kind of roll. Because if it's getting to a point where, as she's stating, this feminist is stating, when men are approaching these women, they do it in a very sleazy manner. They're laughing, they're exploiting her, and all this stuff that could kind of be, that's very subjective. And while one person will look at it as just flirting, some woman who has a hatred for men can suddenly say, "Oh, well, he came on her inappropriately. Oh, let's call the police. That's foul." Like, just all kinds of stuff, And the thing is, the bad thing is that you're not in the United States, where at least you have some type of fairness. You can get a lawyer. You're in another country now. And of course, because some of the locals or people that are jealous of you being there, they're going to try to side with this woman instead of really trying to see if what she's saying took place actually has taken place. So for your safety, and it's not about hiding. It's not about not wanting to be bold and express where I'm at. I just think we have to do it in a very sophisticated manner. Like, one thing one master teacher said, which I agree with. For example, if I want to display girls, the way is eventually gonna have to start doing it is, you can't go into a club, you can't go into a bar, have your camera out and record the girls, because all it's gonna take is one girl to suddenly say, "I didn't want my face on camera. Why are you recording me?" Or you going around taking pictures. "I don't want you taking pictures of me." Or you doing interviews. "I felt very uncomfortable. He was asking me these questions." That's what they're using as ammunition. They're using your videos and your photos and that kind of thing. And as I say before, because they're not getting paid, they can use the angle of, "Well, he tricked me into doing this," that kind of thing. Even as I listed before with one of the content creators I was listening to, saying that some guys are in discourse talking about they have hidden cameras in their rooms over their bed. So what it makes it look like is that you're this sexual pervert who's recording women while they're in their bed. It's just not a very good look. So what's getting you in trouble is your cameras being out. So what you're going to have to start doing is, if you want to display the beautiful women of the country, you're going to have some type of paper agreement, some type of paper agreement where she signs up for it. She's okay with you using her image. She's okay with you recording your interview. It's going to have to be something very sophisticated and technical. I really hate to do it like that, but because one, you got these little strags, I'm gonna have to call them that, both on TikTok and in some of these countries that are upset because men don't want to date them. They're just trying to throw anything at the wall and see what sticks. So I don't want to give them any room for slander. Not because I can't beat it, because again, at the end of the day, it's gonna fall flat because there's nothing there. It's nothing there. But it's just the fact you're gonna have to go through all these loopholes and all these trials of maybe even going to court just to prove that you're innocent. And then you get proven innocent. But the problem is you done wasted all this money on lawyers and trial, and it's just a bunch of mess with it. So you're just gonna have to move very smart about it. So what I would say do is, as I said before, the way one master teacher is doing it, which I agree with, is he just hires, maybe like if he wants to show some of the beautiful women there, find like there are plenty of models there that be willing to do interviews with you, willing to do photo shoots with you, willing to show you around town, just like Austin did when he was in Thailand. He got a guide. She didn't mind being on camera. She was able to guide him around Thailand. You're gonna have to move like that, and that way you can actually show what a Brazilian woman looks like, what Thai woman looks like. That woman has agreed to it. You know, she's okay with you being on camera. It's documented. You have documentation that she's okay with being on camera and doing interviews. That's a more sophisticated way to do it versus you just whipping out the camera when you're on the beach, because that's easily going to get turned into, well, this guy was exploiting me. I didn't feel comfortable with him putting the camera out. That's just adding fuel to the fire. It's just making a bunch of dust up, you know. And like, as I said before, in the end of the day, it's going to all fall out. But the problem is, the damage impact to your image is going to already be done. Like, I'm not going to suffer because, like I said, my image is not shown, and then two, even when I go to these countries, I tend to move under the radar. Or if I am going to do that, like I said, I'm going to use more like the apps to meet girls and that kind of thing, or you use the apps more so to meet girls, and then also, just in general, if I do want to at some point, which I may do in the future, start displaying some of the girls while I'm in these different countries, I'm going to make sure that there's some type of incentive for the girl. And then also that I have her consent documented, that she wants to do this. I did not exploit her. I didn't force her to do that. I didn't groom her to do this. This is something that she signed up for. And then we're going to stand on that. So even if she wants to come back and fight, I got documentation. I'm standing on my square. At that point, I'm going to stay on my square in any country. I have documentation. This is what you want to do. Nobody was exploited. Nobody's exploiting anybody. So that's what I think we need to do, you know. But I would say this to all the guys out there who were Passport Bro, now you're trying to like stray away from it. Put it this way. I'm going to recommend you stand on your square. Stand on your square and just move in a more sophisticated manner. Do not run from this. I'm going to tell you why you do not run from this. You just changing your name to the Blue Book Gentleman, or you changing your name to Male Travelers, or that's the thing of some other type of name you might have, the Blue Travelers, or the Passport Stamp Men, or something like that. That doesn't matter. Regardless of what your name is, a lot of this, in many cases, just targeting men because you're colored. And then even some of my non-black Passport Bros, it doesn't really matter what you change your name to. These women are still going to be there when they see your videos. Regardless of what you label it, they're still going to try to target you and come after you. It is just useless to try to change the name. We've been rocking with this name for a while. Might as well just keep it going and just stand on your square. All of this eventually is going to blow over. Now, whether you will be impacted or not, that's going to depend on how you move. Like I said, you need to move in a sophisticated manner. And then number two, biggest thing, you need to state, as I have stated, that there is no organization. There is no organization. I'm not the head of Passport Bros. None of the guys associated with it. We're not heads of anything. This is a lifestyle. This is stuff that people want to do. All Passport Bro really means is mainly male travelers who go overseas. That's literally it. There's different departments of it, in which there are some men who like to go for romance, such as myself. There's some men who like to go for, to go see historical sites, tours, that kind of thing, such as myself. I do that as well. So I do multiple different pieces of what a Passport Bro is, but each man his own. Some men go specifically for this, some men go specifically for that. You're just going to have to move sophisticated, and you have to, and again, there are no fees, there's no organizations. Stop documenting things that will put it this way, stop recording and documenting things that our ops the opposition, people who don't like men who travel, can try to use against you and make you out to do something that you're not doing. You need to be very aware of what you're recording and make sure at all times you have the person's permission and it's documented. If it's not documented, at some point, 3 months down the line, they're going to have regrets. They may say, hey, can you take all that down? When you don't take it down, it's going to be a problem. So that's why I said I hate to go this very strict, by the book strategy of how we need to move. But until this whole thing blows over and until a lot of guys learn how to kind of monitor themselves, and until they become very aware that there are women out there who are jealous of them, who don't like the fact that you have leverage. You got a lot of women in the United States, they don't like the fact that you're leaving. Therefore, they're going to target you. They're going to find anything they can to stick to you. You need to be very aware of this. Not just them. As you can see, some of the women in Brazil, some of the women in Colombia, Thailand, Philippines. When you go to these countries, you're not just settling down the first woman you see. So, of course, there's going to be some women who have a problem with that. They thought you supposed to just come there simping on them. When you don't simp on them, now they got an issue. Now they got something against you. You know, some woman you was dating for a while, you don't date anymore. She sees you back in the Philippines or Thailand or wherever she's from, and she sees you with another girl, she's going to feel some kind of way. What they say? Heck has no furry like a woman's furry. Yeah, like some women gonna be very angry and upset about seeing you with another woman. And as you've seen, and regardless of the country, some women can be very vengeful. You need to be very aware of this. This is why, even though I'm a passport bro, I still here and there dip into listen to what some of the red pill content creators, such as like Coach Greg Adams and some of these other people, AMS. I still listen to a little bit of some of the stuff they're saying because there is some truth to what they're saying. I just don't agree about the dating coach whole aspect of it. But as far as like some of the truths about dealing with women in general, there is some truth to what they're saying. So you still got to kind of hold on to some of those truths. And here's the other thing that have blew up this whole situation. Here's the other thing that a lot of passport bros are not aware of. People are trying to wonder why is like all this feminist stuff popping up all of a sudden. A lot of people don't know this. There's actually a lot of dating coaches that go down to Brazil with packs of men, and their whole purpose is to go out to different malls and that kind of thing and teach the men how to go up and approach different women. While they're doing it, sometimes they're recording the interaction. What has happened is some of the women feel like they're victims of these dating coach groups. As a result of that, they have made various complaints. This was also on CNN, not just the whole Austin Holliman situation. This was another thing that recently happened. Now, this still with the dating coaches. This had nothing to do with the passport bros, but that situation has spiraled over into our situation as well. So that put that little situation with those dating coaches doing that, with them going out and purposely approaching all these women and that kind of thing, they were able to use that to try to say that travelers are down there targeting women, looking for certain types of women. And a lot of times when dudes are talking about game and that kind of thing, some women try to classify that as manipulation, which means you're trying to exploit a woman. That's what they're trying to say, which is why in general, passport bros, we don't really deal with dating coaches. We always say you don't need game anyway. But since they're going to do that, I believe in the United States, they're trying to say if you claim to be one thing, let's say like you say you're a doctor or something like that, and you have sexual relations with a woman under that context, but she finds out later you work at a gas station, they're trying to say that's almost like sexual harassment or even borderline rape. That's what they're trying to say. So think about that. So here's the thing. Some of these feminists in these other countries, they're getting their talking points for some of the women in the United States. So what they're doing is they're latching onto that. So when these dating coaches come down here and they're approaching all these women, they're trying to say that these men are being very manipulative and exploitive, and they're taking advantage of these women, putting them on camera, seducing them, doing all these kind of things. And they're trying to make them almost like they're predators, which still is not the case. But nevertheless, they're going to use that. Then they're going to take that and they're going to smear that over to the passport bro movement and try to say we're associated with that when we're not associated at all with that. Either way, I think it's foolishness on both sides. But either way, I just want you to know that in the background, that's taking place as well. Now, I've kept this video very, very long. I didn't even mean it going this long, but this whole situation has just got very, very annoying for the most part. Man, I'm just so surprised how many people have just like so willing to cower and back down from their stance on being a passport bro. Is there? We're not doing any. There's nothing illegal about what we're doing. You can't. If you keep cowering now, there's nothing you're going to cower to. You're just going to let the feminists take over, not just in these countries, but in the States as well. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for a weak spot. At some point, you're going to have to stand on your square. It doesn't matter what you change your name to. At some point, you're going to have to stand on your square because they're going to keep attacking you. So at some point, we're going to have to start standing on our ground. So as I said before, walk sophisticated. Be very aware that you have ops targeting you. So you need to be careful about the way you move. Remember, this is not an organization. You're not a head of anything. There are no groups. There's no chapters. And eventually, in my personal opinion, somewhere down the line, there's going to probably have to be some lawsuits that come out about this smear campaign. And probably targeting that woman in general. Like, there's going to have to be some type of lawsuits. Law's going to have to start getting involved because you can't just go around smearing and lying on people. Because because the thing is, that, in my personal opinion, once some lawsuits and that stuff start coming out, that's going to dead a whole lot of this situation. But I'm going to leave it at that. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this whole situation. Please leave your comments. Please subscribe to my channel. Please hit the notification so you can hear about when my next video comes out. And yeah, subscribe if you never subscribed to my channel. And this is your boy, the Passport Bro Wingman, signing off.